Everybody, welcome back. It's business, and we're going to do something a bit different today, something I haven't done in 6 months. We're going to have some gameplay of destroyers that I've done, not somebody else. The Russian destroyers, since I've picked these up, have been a lot of fun. And I don't play my Minikaze pretty much anymore, so that's kind of a shame, but I really should kind of get back to it. So anyways, gonna show off the tier 2 Russian destroyer, the Sturzovoy, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing incorrectly. Somebody's gonna correct me in the comment section here, of course. It has really terrible guns. They're 102 millimeter, and it only has 3 of them. They reach out to about 9.7 kilometers, and it has a 3x3 torpedo setup. They go about 51 knots with the upgrade, 6100 damage, only 3 kilometer range though, so that's kind of a thing with these early Russian destroyers. They do reload at 33 seconds though, so that's always a plus. As far as its concealment and speed, 5.6 concealment on the surface, 2.7 from the air, and it goes about 35 knots, so not bad. But the Dursky is where the fun really begins. Well, yeah, I would say this is just a lot of fun for tier 3. The cannons reach out a little bit further to 10.3 kilometers, and the rate of fire is pretty good on all these. I mean, obviously, once you get the basic skill there, you're doing about 13.3 rounds a minute. It does have a 5x2 setup on the torps, and they have an awesome reload of 22 seconds. They do the same amount of damage as the previous tier at 6100, 51 knots speed, and 3 kilometer range. The speed is down just a little bit at 34 knots. The concealment is up at 5.9 and 2.7 from the air. And then we go to the Izyaslav, which has 5 of the same damn guns, so 102 millimeter, and this reaches out to 10.2 kilometers. And again, it's all the same stats. There's no surprise there. I mean, they're the same models. The torps, though, really, like, getting the 5 kilometer torps on this is awesome. It really does help, because you're going to be spotted from further and have to deal with, just a lot more crap than you did at tier 3. They do have a 39-second reload on the upgraded torps with 7200 damage, 52 knot speed, 5 kilometer range. This is at a 35 knot speed with 6.7 concealment from the surface and 3.3 from the air. So we're going to start off with the tier 2 Sturzovoy, and just showing the torpedoes here. It's amazing seeing that many on a low tier ship like this. You play the Samson and the Umakaze. It's a 2x2 setup, so it's nothing like dumping 9 torps into the damn water like this ship, But we're on big race here, and it's myself, Jason, and Asylum Illusia, I think. I'm not really sure how the hell to pronounce that name, but that's my best guess. So I am pushing in against the St. Louis. Jason is just off to my left, though. He's really going hard at it, but unfortunately, Jason launched his torps right before that guy beached himself, and so all of his torps are going to miss here. Pretty crappy start, and this is the very first game I've played in this particular ship, so it was just kind of on a whim. I think I was streaming too. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure I was, actually. And unfortunately, Jason's gonna go down right there. Jason, no! And I have my ship facing the St. Louis, and I know he's gonna start shooting at me any second here, so trying to provide or have the slimmest profile I can. You're going to see this a lot, by the way, and you see it in pretty much any ship I play, but I'm closing in on him. I've got my speed boost activated, and I'm going hard body karate on this guy. So here we go with the narrow spread, dump as much as I can, because I'm pretty sure I'm dead at this point, right? Splat, splat, and splat. It takes a lot of hits because these torpedoes do very little damage. But 6 torpedo hits, that's pretty solid. And I'm certainly dead at this point, right? I've got 400 something health, I pop my smoke, and I take another little hit there. So close to dying. And wait a second. Was that the Kawachi? Wait a second. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm dead here between his secondaries and his main cannons, right? Well, let's launch as many torps as I possibly can. And I'm going to come around up on his backside, try to close in on him just in case those don't do the trick. And you can see I've only got 20 seconds and dodged a whole salvo there. Holy crap. 15 seconds now till I get the reload back. But 8 out of 9 hit. And then some fire comes in and finishes him off right there. That was awesome. So we move up to the Dursky now. And it's, again, myself, Jason, and Asylum Luzia. Jason's in his Dursky here as well, and he's dumping as many salvos into this poor bastard as he can, and we're all just throwing our torps into the water. I mean, it's one thing seeing, like, you know, 2, 3 torpedo launchers, but 5? Holy crap. I can definitely see why the Kitakami would have been very addicting back when you could get that, and obviously if you were rank 1 for the previous season, you know, you got that ship as a gift, a temporary gift. I would love to play the Kitakami now. After playing these ships, wow, it's got to be so much damn fun. Frustrating, but, you know, fun. And this is pretty much playing like you're on a roller coaster, you know. You're just waiting for that whole surge of adrenaline and excitement, and then you go back on the hunt. And that's, you know, really how most destroyers are. But there's something really special about these particular destroyers, because they're nuts. They're just crazy fun. So have this South Carolina here, and Jason actually just hit me. He took out my damn engine, so that was really lucky timing, actually, that, you know, this guy has no chance to have some recourse against me. Completely annihilate his health. Oh my goodness. So I was in their cap, and these ships are coming up. I'm gonna get spotted eventually, so I decided to push out, and there's a Hermelin right up front and another couple ships back here. I'm just throwing torps down, trying to get some space here so I can push up against that South Carolina and try to dump torps into him too. Unfortunately, the Hermelin only gets hit by that rightmost torpedo right there, but you know, most other destroyers that would have been a kill, but unfortunately for this, that's not gonna happen. And even though I die, send off my little fishies, and this is always like the best and worst part about when you die and like you get off some torps. You're like, yeah, oh, so close. But this match was a bit different, and I'm sure this whole area looks familiar considering the last user replay video, or the second one I should say, with the Nikolai. It's a different ship, but not entirely different results, and it just crazy amount of fun up here on Solomon Islands. And I sent off my full spread of torps there just in case another ship decided to come through the smoke and, you know, cut through the and like stay close to the island there. Wanted to have some torps there just in case, but there are a lot of destroyers in this match, a lot of them. They have a walkie-talkie, a Wix, and 3 Sturgeovoys. We just have a lot as well, and we'll just leave it at that. And you know, this is one of my favorite maps for low tier, is just how a fight always ends up like up here. And I think I've only played this map a few times where I've actually gone to the south and fought. It's never turned out well. For some reason, this feels like the right area for me, and apparently for a lot of other people too. But we did just lose a Kohlberg, I think it was right there. Just got annihilated by torps, and starting to engage with my guns here, an enemy destroyer that was incapacitated as well. And I want you to watch what happens to this Chester here to my left. This is hilarious, but it's also crazy. Like, from his perspective, this must have looked insane. I dumped torps to prevent the Sturgevoy, the lead one, to come around and put me in a worse position. But check this out. The left Sturgevoy dumps torps and ends up hitting his teammate who went on the other side of the Chester. Like, that must have been so cinematic to watch. Like, as far as from the Chester's perspective, that must have been incredible. He must have felt like the luckiest guy, of course, and then I think he ends up getting killed anyways. So, a bit of a short-lived sense of euphoria for him. But I peeled off, trying to reassess things. Unfortunately, Jason is all up there on his own, and yeah, he's potentially in a bad situation, but you know, there's still some smoke and whatnot. Now he's getting shot at again. But I start engaging another destroyer and trying to work my guns in, trying to make sure I'm not getting flanked by anybody, and just moving up. Gonna get in behind this other Chester here. And of course, I'm still engaging with my guns. I'm not nearly close enough to any of these guys to use torpedoes. I am deciding to move straight towards this Wix that's coming around. You can see him right there, like just to my left now, and about 5 kilometers, or actually 4.5 kilometers away, and wondering if I can get into torp range against him. He's engaging another destroyer to my right, and that gives me at least a chance to dump some shots into him and get the first salvo, which sometimes is the most important one, of course. Teammate takes a torp right in his broadside there. Nasty looking result, but the guy ends up losing his engines, of course, as you saw in the first salvo, and gets knocked out again. And now he's just kind of drifting forward right into the torps. And what the hell, might as well just send all of them. With the, you know, with reloads this short, you almost can't afford not to use all of your torps when you get the chance. And especially considering that, you know, you're in the range of 3 kilometers. I mean, you have to consider that. You're 3 kilometers away. Just dump all of your torps and get them all out there. Because you never know what you're going to hit, you never know what's going to happen, so you might as well give yourself the best chance of doing the maximum amount of damage, you know? Now, there's an enemy South Carolina up here, and there's a... That is the... Yeah, that's the walkie-talkie. Sorry, it was such a similar profile to the Minikaze. I'm like, wait, this isn't a tier 5 match, so my bad. It's also really, really late, and I'm super tired, but I'm doing this anyways because I want to. And I get surprised on my port side by another destroyer coming up, so I'm like, can't use my torps, and Jason's over there. I don't want to send torps that way, so alright, we're back to the guns. So, get his engine on the first shot, and the first hit. He gets my steering, unfortunately. I get a couple hits into him, and Jason's got torps coming in, but finishes him off with the guns. So there's a St. Louis over there. Decided to take some pot shots. At this point, my adrenaline's pumping pretty well, so you're going to see me engage and disengage multiple targets very quickly. Like right now, I'm going to reassess the situation, get my turrets back on him, fire again, pretty much do it again. I'm totally freaking out, basically. I'm all pumped up, and this is what I've really been missing from the game. And you know, I do like playing all sorts of tiers, but you know, I do not think this is seal clubbing, because if I were in a cruiser, something that could withstand a lot of punishment, yeah, probably. A battleship, yeah, maybe. Nikolai could definitely qualify for that. And when it comes to destroyers, though, with a 3 kilometer range on their torps, you have to play really well to be able to get these suckers working, and you have to throw yourself into harm's way at, you know, at pretty much all times. So if you want to use the torps, and I want to use the torps on these because I think they're fucking hilarious, just like that one right there. And I had, and this is a replay, of course. In the actual match, I was looking at the destroyer here. I actually didn't even think that my torps were going to hit that St. Louis, so I never bothered to look back behind me. So I guess cool guys don't look at explosions, right? But I have my bow pointing right towards that South Carolina. I'm closing on him while engaging the enemy walkie-talkie, and finish him off. And now you're going to see some sweet dodges here, okay? Brace yourself. Look at that. Almost like I planned it. But even though that was most likely just his inaccuracies. But I'm close enough now, and I've got enough health where I'm not going to die to his 4th turret, even if it hits me with bow shells. So dump all of my torps and get the Confederates, and devastating strike. Boom. Yeah, 6 kills. Now that was a lot of fun. And now something completely different, but I think altogether at least as satisfying as that match. I'm in the Izyaslav, and it's a tier 6 match, and we're in, tier 4 ships. Yeah, this one really concerned me because they have a division of 3 Clevelands and 4 total on their team. Pay attention to the map there. And this Cleveland just killed an Omaha, so these are the torps from him. And look at this sweet dodge. Awesome. But this actually, the death of that Omaha created an opportunity because, one, I wasn't spotted, so they don't know exactly where I am. And there's a bunch of battleships off to the left, and all the Clevelands off to the right. And they do have a Ryujo somewhere, and I'm thinking he's most likely at the very top center of the map, right? Because I've been watching all these planes. Now, I'm trying to figure out my course of action here, and just what way I want to go. So I'm taking in the whole map assessment, my team, and everything right now. I decided to go straight up the line here, and I'm really close to being detected by air, sort of close by the surface ships, but seeing where those planes are coming from, I can guess that the carrier is exactly where I'm expecting him to be. The problem is, unfortunately, when I come around the corner here, he's facing the other way and he's already moving. I'm not going to be able to catch up to him. And so at the time here, I've got that inner debate of whether or not I should pursue him. And sure enough, the cruisers, all those Clevelands, turn back around, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do anything here. These guys have too much health. There's just way too much risk. I'm not going to be able to catch up to the carrier, and right now he's not the biggest threat. So I turn back around, and Jason is actually, I think he just died a moment ago, but he did get the destroyer. Oh no, actually there he is. So he did take out a destroyer right there, and I am going to try to use this island next to their cap to hide me and hopefully be able to give me a springboard action against their cruisers. And if I need to do it, I'll do a suicide strike. I'll be perfectly fine with that. Jason launched his torps, and unfortunately he was still in the mindset of playing the Dursky with the super fast reload, but with the 38-second reload on this, it lent him a unfortunate surprise when he still had another 15 seconds on the torps for their reload. So I'm going to play this real methodical here, slow down, let them get as close as I can, and launch my attack at what I hope is the last possible second for these guys to be able to react. And just lining things up here, just waiting and waiting, trying to make sure that I'm not going to be spotted any other way. Pop smoke, and let's get these torps going. And unfortunately, this last salvo Torp goes ahead and hits the damn island. So I don't know if that... Actually, I don't think that would have mattered. I think it would have missed anyways. But you can see he's not reacting. He's not expecting Torps on his blind side. And 1, 2, and 3. So the good thing is, take a look at the bottom of the screen. I've got 5 seconds until my Torps are ready again. Here we go. He obviously repaired, and I'm gonna do a bit of a widespread here, try to anticipate some of his movements, and all I need is just one hit, because that'll cause him to flood out. And sure enough, I get that right there, and to make it even better, I got that one. And so I decide not to fire, and I really wanted to shoot at the Cleveland behind him, but I decided not to fire because I wasn't detected, and I knew that the other cruiser was over here. So the problem with that, though, is that I get spotted by air, which means that he's able to have plenty of time to be able to train his guns on me, and damn near kills me, but I get him. So, yay! That definitely got my heart rate up pretty quick. And now I'm under fire from the other Cleveland who was hanging back, and I've got the cap here in front of me. I've got to try to move in, get within range of the Cleveland, or get my guns within range of him, and fire the first salvo out. Since he was going to walk into it, I had the chance to be able to shoot beyond my range, in a manner of speaking, but get him right there, swing the match back into our favor, and start the cap, which is what won us the game. So World of Destroyers, huh? Yeah, I can't necessarily disagree with it, but when they're this fun, who gives a shit? I mean, this is awesome. You know, don't limit yourself to one class. It's a waste of time. I mean, you can do better than just one class. And honestly, these Russian destroyers don't really play like much of anything else that I've played. I just really enjoy them quite a bit. And the thing is, the balance of power is going to swing back to, say, carriers next, and when that happens, I can guarantee the game will be pretty different. But thanks for dropping by. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I do plan on streaming Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and probably during the day on Monday at the usual time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Feel free to join me, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.